it comes to love and romance, I've never left a thing to chance. Stiffer than a froggy in formaldehyde. Now it's time to enjoy the ride.
Oh, it's my range and everything.
What about plans you've made?
Plans are for sissies.
I've heard you never stray.
Just give me some kissies. Always used to let my conscience be my guide. Now it's time to enjoy the ride.
Hey patrons, we're back at you with the more Schmigadoon recaps. It's me and Liz. How you feeling, Liz?
I'm good. I went to a carnival recently, and a very hot man took me on a ride. Very nice.
Is that a euphemism, or did he literally just take you on a ride?
He literally just took me on a ride.
Oh, okay. But that was right after you and your feller had a lover spat.
Yes,
Isn't that
me and my
right?
fella are always fighting.
Always fighting, man. And it like gets violent. You get knives out and shit, too.
Yeah, no, we stab each other. It's great.
It's great.
Very healthy.
Yes. So what did you think of episode 2? This is episode 2 of Schmigadoon. A lot more drama, a lot more musical references.
Yes. I like this one a little more than the first episode, mostly because I got the universe, so it was less exposition. It was like, okay,
Yes.
they're singing, they don't know they're singing, cool. And there's a direct homage to Oklahoma with the basket
Yes.
bidding, and calling it out for what it is, which is bidding on women.
No, you're bidding on a basket.
Yeah, bidding on a basket.
You might be getting a woman for an evening. There's no strings attached.
No strings, just a
course not.
basket and a woman.
There's a lot of like sexism play, like the women don't get the alcoholic punch and the men do.
And Alan Cumming is just like, those labels are not working.
Cecily Strong playing drunk is always like my favorite part of SNL. So like seeing it here really brought me here.
I feel like her Marjorie Taylor Greene is just her being drunk.
Yeah.
It's great.
This episode shocked me a little bit, and in the way that this show is much hornier than I expected it to be.
This show's very horny.
I didn't expect this to be a horny show, and it very much is.
Yeah, I thought when Dove Cameron was entering in as the new love interest, it was like, okay, maybe this won't be as horny as I think, because my first thought, because I know how old Keegan-Michael Key is, because I had to look it up for the prom video.
Yes, you're welcome. He's old.
He's old. Also, you still owe me money for that, because you put money on the fact he is not reaching 50.
He's like 50. He is like past 50.
He is 50. And I
how
looked
old
up
is
Dove
Dove
Cameron's
Cameron?
age.
23?
She's 25.
Ooh, literally half his age.
It's literally half his age. And right before they went on the date, I was like, let me look up her age real quick. I just grabbed my phone. I'm like, okay. Oh, God. So it's very horny for 25-year age gap.
Between Aaron Tveit and Cecily Strong, is there an age gap? I feel like they look of each other's age.
I think they're about the same age.
So I imagine Aaron Tveit is like 45 and she might be like 30s, early 40s.
Yeah, I think Cecily is in... Oh, that was my phone. Okay, 1984. I had to do math because IMDb didn't tell me what it was.
That's 30...
30-something.
7?
Yeah, and then Aaron Tveit is...
She's 37.
Oh, Aaron Tveit's only a year younger than Cecily
So
Strong.
he's still younger. Much like there's like I still think there's too big an age gap between her and Keegan-Michael Key. Like,
agree.
A little much.
He doesn't look
know.
50 though. It's weird.
No, he plays younger. It's that Detroit water. He drank all that Detroit water, and now he looks young forever.
That's
Hopefully
what keeps
it'll
you
do
so
the same
young
for me.
and glowing. It's the Detroit water.
You look at me looking like 30 years older than I already am, and you're like, oh yeah, that's what keeps you young. I can see the irony on your face, Liz.
Well, they can't see it, so that's all that matters.
I could look like a little baby on this phone call.
That's true. You could. I
I
look like
don't.
a baby. I got a baby face.
You do. You look much younger than you are.
Yeah, I worked at a kids camp. Everyone thought I was 17. I was like, I'm 21. I can drink you under a table.
Lover Spat, which is the number we opened with, picking up right after we did last time, where they just want to get out, and Keegan-Michael Key is like, maybe because it didn't work for us, we need to find someone else here, and she rather irrationally just at him positing that idea is like, what you don't want to make this work?
Yeah, I think if I were her, I would have been like, yeah, let's go. Like, we clearly can't leave. There's a reason we need to separate from each other. Like,
yeah,
let's do our own thing. Just don't date a 25-year-old.
Yeah, maybe don't date a literal child.
Actually, there's a joke about we don't know what her age is. So.
Yeah, she could be 40 or 19.
She could. She said like this was built when I was 14. She's like, I remember it so well. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's a confusing thing, and they do make fun of the age gap a bit, which almost makes it okay, but not really.
Yeah, I just find it weird. It's just strange. I love Dove Cameron. No. Stop flirting with this 50-year-old man.
Keegan-Michael Key is attractive, like,
yeah.
And I not to say anything against him, but also, like, stop flirting in the overtly sexual way. Like, if it was a little bit more tame, I think I'd be able to kind of be like, all right, this is fine. But this is almost like, let's fuck right now.
Yeah, especially because she's just like, my basket smells like peaches. And it's like, oh god, did you have to pick peaches?
When I hear peaches, all I think about is the peach emoji, which also means butt.
And then the eggplant comes in, and you're just like, ugh.
Well,
she did have a rather large sausage in her basket.
Yeah, she did.
Very large sausage.
Like, it's a horny show, and I was not expecting a horny show. Because
the 40s were pretty horny, apparently.
I mean, they were horny in a different way, where they couldn't say anything, so they play with, like, the gay talk, like, with Alan Cummings' character. So he has the song, Somewhere Love Is Waiting For You, where he's subtextually saying how gay he is and intending happy in the way that a lot of old 40s musicals were written, like, I'm feeling so gay, which was also the songwriter's subtle way of saying that they're inserting gay subtext into their stories. And here it's kind of making fun of that subtextual style, which I think is hilarious.
Oh, I loved it. And Cecily's just like, so are you gay? It's like, I tried to be gay.
I come out here when I want to be gay.
I can't always be gay, though.
And I just hope that they corrupt everyone, and then Alan Cummings finally allowed to be coming on men. You know, I really, really want that to be the way that it's gonna end up.
Oh yeah, like a Pleasantville situation where everyone is like stops being all repressed.
Exactly. Honestly, that's the best case scenario. And I really don't want, maybe it's just too early on, I don't want Keegan-Michael Key and Cecily Strong to end up together. I kind of want them to still be like, you know what, it wasn't right for us, but we can be buds, and I love you as a friend, and that's how they get out.
Yeah. Or I mean, they might end up together, and I
don't like that.
I'd be okay with it if they like work through their issues throughout the show and show character growth. But I also would rather them just be friends and leave finding true love as friends.
Yes, that's how I'd like it. That's my best case scenario here. And then once they leave, they could work their issues out and eventually become mature enough to be in a relationship, maybe. But I think that platonic love is wonderful, and you shouldn't shit on it.
Yeah. No, I absolutely. But I don't know. This show might romanticize it to a degree, but we'll see.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of this show is about breaking up established couples, because I feel like Alan Cumming and his wife are going to break up for the reasons of gay. I feel like Kristen Chenoweth and Fred Armisen are going to break up for reasons of abuse. I feel like everyone's going to kind of break up a bit.
Yeah.
And then
my theory is that Fred is gay and is in love with Alan Cumming.
Oh, I love it. Please let this happen.
Yeah, that's my running theory right now, because he's scared and then the mayor comes and he's less scared. That's my theory, but that's just a game theory.
Oh, you're the best, Liz.
Thank you. Thank you for liking my terrible memes.
I love memes. I I hope it doesn't go on being this horny, if that makes sense. I kind of like I want to get the horny out the way, and then we can kind of go on to like actual connection.
Yeah, I think sex isn't their problem. Like their sex life is clearly healthy.
They fucked on the first night. They had treats and snacks all over their bed.
Yeah, I would love having sex over a bag of chips. No, I'll pass.
You instead of rose petals, just put some Lay's down.
Some Lay's and just of Snickers on the corner.
Crank. Every thrust, you just hear another crunch of a chip.
And you wash your
worst
sheets
UTI
and they just
you'll
smell
ever
like
get.
salt for a week.
Oh God. Your bedroom, like there's just like chips. Like, oh my God, it would get like caught in like the body, like because you push a chip into your arm, it's gonna like kind of stick there.
Yeah, and also it get in like crevices.
Yeah, that would hurt.
Yeah.
Don't do that, kids.
Don't. This is life advice. Just don't put chips on your bed before you have sex.
You know what? Don't put most food on your bed before you have sex.
Just don't put food on your bed. Just.
How about don't mix food and sex unless it's staying in the mouth area?
Yeah. Don't like do that thing in 50 Shades Freed where there's
don't do that.
Container of ice cream that comes out, and I cried because I hated it.
I hated it. I hated everything about those movies. There was not a single thing that was titillating. I was just like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, I finished those just purely as a completion anxiety thing. I'm like, I watched the first two. I have to finish the third one.
I saw the first two in theaters, and then I was like, I think I'm good on the third one. And
Please
my
tell me your
was
girlfriend
also
did
like,
not make you go see those in theaters.
Yes, she did.
Oh,
and
God,
you know what?
Ryan.
I'll argue the first one is actually a movie.
Oh yeah, it's a real movie. Also, they are entertaining. So Miranda has some points.
She just loves trash, but she hates the trash that I like because I'm
Yeah.
big on like The Room or Troll 2 or like the things that are fodder for like riff tracks and Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah.
And she likes, romantic comedies and shit. Last night we watched Sister Act, and it was a joy. Is that gonna win any Oscars? No.
I'm a sucker for a bad rom-com, so I totally understand.
While we were in Philly, we watched Mystic Pizza, and watching it, I'm like, this would be a great musical. Like,
I think it
that's
was,
just all
wasn't it?
I didn't see it.
I don't know. Maybe I heard.
I know the
was
guy that
in
did the
development.
script for Parade did the script for Mystic Pizza, so I'm like, him and Jason Robert Brown should team up and make this into a musical.
Oh, my dad has it on DVD. Maybe I should look into that.
It's a good movie. Julia Roberts is fantastic in it.
Yeah. I mostly watch like trashy romantic thrillers, largely made by Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry.
Like, he had a Netflix movie that came out last year called A Fall from Grace, which is so bad, and I love every waking minute of it. It's so terrible. The plot makes no sense. And the twist literally comes out of goddamn nowhere. And it never makes sense, and the acting is bad. And there's a point where the main actress pulls up a text message from her lover, and you can see that it's a picture. They forgot to like
picture.
crop out the part that's like 1 out of 9 that is on iPhones. And like,
it's like basic shit there.
that's basic stuff.
Speaking of 50 Shades, have you seen or heard of Wild Mountain Time?
No.
Oh my God. I mean, it's Patreon. We're allowed to have our tangents here because no one gives a shit. It is Emily Blunt and what's his name who played Christian Grey, Jamie Dornan, has Christopher Walken and John Hamm in it. It is possibly one of the worst films I've ever seen. Emily Blunt is this girl in Ireland who falls in love with this guy in Ireland, but he's so emotionally detached. He's like, I can't be brought down by love and all that. He's a really intense, stoic guy. And she's like, come on, be with me. Why won't you be with me? And you ready for this twist? Liz, I know you're not ready for this twist.
I am ready.
Spoilers for a movie that I don't think anyone saw except for me. But why do you think he doesn't want to have a relationship? Why do you think he's so broken?
He's gay.
No, he's convinced he's a bumblebee.
I'm so confused.
And he's like, I am legitimately convinced that I am a bumblebee, and that is why I cannot emotionally do it. She's like, what if I let you be a bumblebee and we're also together? And that was how...
Is this what the writers of the B movie wanted the B movie to be, but didn't make it happen?
a writer-director who's known for some very good shows. He wrote the play Doubt and also the screenplay for the movie Doubt. He wrote Congo. He wrote Moonstruck, one of my favorite films, Joe versus the Volcano. And then this is his first film in nearly 10 years.
Oh, God.
It is one of the wildest fucking experiences on the planet. You can't understand a word anyone's fucking saying. And beautiful views. Ireland is a beautiful place, but that twist was I'm done. I cannot emotionally handle what this is throwing at me.
Yeah, oh, wow. Oh, my God. So he thinks he's a bee? Oh, my God.
Yes. And yeah, it was wild, and I cannot recommend you not watch that movie enough. But back to Schmigadoon.
Yes, back to Schmigadoon, the goal of this show.
Yeah, the goal of this show. Let's talk about the two versions of Enjoy the Ride. One sung by Cecily Strong and Aaron Tveit, where she gets her own version of the song where she's like, I'm a super horny on Maine. And he's like, oh, you shouldn't be horny on Maine. And she's like, too bad I am. There's specific things about this dance that bothers me, and it bothers me in a lot of other things. It's the triggering of things by thrusting a hip to the right or left.
Yeah.
And in this case, it is gunshots. I know it's supposed to be like, ooh, she's so sexy, she's making these gunshots ejaculate. But in my mind, it looks like she's farting so hard that the guns go off. Because that's the way you lean for a fart, and then just a gunshot goes off. And I can't not think about that.
I mean, someone might be into that.
There's an entire subsection of people with fart fetishes in children's cartoons, which is why there was a lot of fart humor in early children's media.
That's true. There's a lot of fart jokes.
Mm-hmm. Apparently because there was fetish stuff in a lot of people. Same with the Dan Schneider stuff. The children's media is a lot creepier if you think really hard about it.
Yeah, I've been rewatching the original iCarly lately so I have something to watch that is requires no thought to understand. And there's a lot of foot stuff that I didn't notice before. And oh God.
Strangely, I did notice it as a kid. I was like, man, there's a lot of bare feet in this show.
Yeah, I think I was too busy, paying attention to other weird shit. Spencer is so funny. I wonder why he's always barefoot.
Yeah, Dan Schneider's a fucking creep.
He is.
Glad he's not making kids media anymore, or any media anymore.
Yeah. I will say about that gun thing, it does look like a fart.
Okay, I'm not alone.
I will agree. It does kind of look like a fart now that you mention it. But they did establish earlier that the gun is a metaphor for the penis.
They did, but that doesn't just... Maybe Aaron Tveit's really into fart fetishes humor, and that caused the gun ejaculations.
That's true. He's from an old musical, so he could have a lot of fetishes that he doesn't talk about.
Yeah, look at Alan Cumming.
Yeah, we don't know what these people from old musicals are into behind the scenes because they're in clean musicals. We don't know about that dude from Oklahoma might be into some freaky stuff.
Judd Fry, the only one allowed to have this weird fetish is Judd Fry. He had his posted all over his walls.
Oh, he had so much porn. I had to censor some boobs.
And a G-rated musical that is currently on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
If you want to watch Oklahoma, it's for you for a fee of Disney Plus.
And Hamilton had to get rid of most of their F words, but porn.
Porn gets a stay. You did see how they censored Splash, right?
Yeah, they gave Daryl Hannah a hairy butt.
Yeah.
Why?
Bad look. But I like the song between Aaron Tveit and Cecily Strong. And Cecily Strong can pull off a musical number very well. She does have very good control over her body in a way that Keegan-Michael Key gets a little lost in.
Yeah.
They play to her strengths as a physical comedian very well, and she can actually dance and sing, and that's great.
Oh yeah, she does amazing stuff in SNL with song stuff.
Mm-hmm. And that cartwheel, that was her. I was like, oh, good for you, girl.
Oh yeah.
I can't do a cartwheel.
Yeah, I think she did one in midair on that Chance the Rapper sketch where she flies in the air because they're in love, and then it's real they're not in love, and Chance the Rapper isn't that into her.
So much good stuff here. which did you prefer, the Dove Cameron one or the Aaron Tveit and Cecily Strong one?
I'm leaning toward the Aaron Tveit one because it was horny, but in a subtle way. The Dove Cameron one was horny in a very obvious way. Like, she pulled out a sausage and 2 cantaloupes and a cream pie that she just licks the cream off of with her finger.
You could have chose any different way to frame that.
Well, also saying that
say
she's
that.
not having sex till marriage, and it's like...
But then she changes her mind in the end, where it's like, why wait?
Yeah, I'm cool. You're hot, and you're totally not 50.
I mean, I didn't think he was 50 either.
Yeah, I didn't think he was 50, but now that I know he's 50, it's like shades everything. I do like how the dad is just immediately like, I'm going to kill you.
I feel like racial politics are playing in there a little bit. Like, you see a white man holding a man of color with a shotgun. Some things are triggered in the back of your head.
Yeah, there is association. Like how there's colorblind casting in Schmigadoon, but Kristen Chenoweth is not cool with this colorblind casting, which I mentioned in the pilot.
Yeah.
Like, she's fine with like an Asian woman being Alan Cummings' wife, but having a black woman and black man and a white woman be a couple in Schmigadoon that doesn't live there is like, no.
Is Cecily Strong white?
Is she white? I think she's white. Or she's something.
I don't know. I'm very bad at telling this.
Well, it's a mixed race couple, nonetheless. Yes. I'm going to look it up.
I'm bad at telling race. I had a Filipino friend that I was just convinced was black because I'm very bad at telling race.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So let's talk about the people that made this. It's Cinco Paul and Ken Dario, who are mostly known for things that are not classical musicals. They are known for things like Cats Don't Dance, The Santa Claus 2, but not The Santa Claus 1. Horton Hears a Who, Despicable Me 1, 2, and 3, The Secret Life of Pets. Hop, you remember that movie?
I
Everyone's
do remember
favorite
Hop.
Easter film. And of course, Schmigadoon at the end. But the one I want to talk about a little bit is the Lorax.
They wrote the Lorax song?
They wrote all of the Lorax, including a few of the songs. But have you ever listened to the cut songs from the Lorax?
I haven't. I watched the Lorax once, and it was one of my earliest angry tweets that I ever made on my account.
But they did write it, and they did do the lyrics for a good amount of the songs, including, you know, the song How Bad Can I Be? That garbage song?
The one that's basically about pouring oil on dolphins and saying that it's okay because money.
Money. I do want to say there used to be a very good song in that spot, but the studio made them cut out everything dark. And it was this song called Biggering, which I do highly recommend you listen to, which is the one thing that made me convinced that this would work. And it's basically a darker, much more mean-spirited version of a song that would go in the How Bad Can I Be part, where it's like, yeah, I don't give a shit about these people. I need a bigger office. I just need to keep on biggering and biggering. And, you know, Dr. Seuss language used very dark. It is a great song, and it is probably my favorite thing they've done outside of Schmigadoon. And when I heard this announced, I looked it up to make sure that they wrote this song, and I was like, okay, if they're giving the free reins away from, like, Illumination, they can make something pretty cool here.
Yeah. Illumination was a big part of why that movie failed. So. Yeah.
I think that there were people that really wanted to do Seuss justice involved in that, and then it got incorporated. You know, corporate people ruin everything.
Yeah, which is ironic, because that movie's about how corporations are bad. So.
Yes, it is. But I find that this is where they should be as opposed to the animated landscape.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're doing that great there.
Not that I've seen Secret Life of Pets, because it looked like Toy Story with dogs.
It is Toy Story with dogs.
Yeah. Or I've only seen the first Despicable Me, I think. Yeah. I don't remember the second one.
Have you seen Cats Don't Dance?
I haven't. It's been on my list for a while, because I heard it's interesting.
It is a very interesting film. With some great moments in it. Big and Loud is probably one of my favorite musical numbers in an animated film ever. It has some great songs, some great moments in it. Best animation outside of Disney in that time period of like the 90s. Highly recommended. It's not going to be like Disney quality, but it's pretty okay.
Yeah.
All right, back to Schmigadoon. I guess we're all wrapped up. It ends with him getting a gun pulled on him, and we're going to have to see what happens next week. I have not watched beyond this.
I haven't either. I only watched the first two, so this should be interesting.
What do we think is going to happen in the next episode? What's your prediction?
Good question. I'm not sure. I believe the dad will probably just yell at Keegan-Michael Key for a while.
I think he'll make him marry him, which was kind of the Oklahoma plot where like the dad with a shotgun forces whoever to marry his daughter so that she is made a lady. Those old sexist truisms.
Yeah, those old ideas where as soon as you touch a woman, you need to marry her.
You touched my daughter, you need to put a ring on that finger.
You held my daughter's hand, now you gotta marry her.
You took her virtue. She's been used now. Oh,
that was like me when I was like with my boyfriend in quarantine, because we don't live in the same house, so my parents would have us stay outside, so we only held hands for over a year.
You filthy pervert.
Like dating the 1800s.
That's disgusting.
It was disgusting.
Dare you? I'm sickened by you. How nasty
I'm
of you.
disgusting. And now we don't. Now we can be in the same room, which is even worse.
Ugh.
It's disgusting.
Before marriage, I thought you were a pure woman.
Where's the ring on my finger? There's no ring on my finger. I'm unpure.
This bit's done. It's getting too real. I don't like it. So, Liz, what was your overall thoughts on episode 2 of Schmigadoon and your cheese rating of this episode?
Ooh, I like this one a lot. I think it did a lot well, and now that the exposition is over, we can just get right to the stuff that we like. I shouldn't have done that. We can just get right to the stuff that we like to talk about in terms of like the plot and the characters. And it's a little horny. I agree. It was a little horny. I watched it this morning. It was a weird way to start out my morning. It was just like, yeah, good morning. Here's some horniness.
A little too horny for my morning, if you ask me.
A little too horny for 10 o'clock in the morning after I just ate a yogurt. I was just like, well, time for some horniness.
I'll keep my mouth shut there. I'll tell you that.
Now, for my cheese rating, I think I'm going to give it I think this is a romantic cheese. I don't know. I eat chicken wings on dates, so I don't know much about romantic food.
I was about to say, it's like a good way to like get your hands all messy and all that, and your face all messy.
It's really delicious though.
I haven't had chicken wings in years. I think the most recent I had was like vegan chicken wings, which I prefer. I don't like bones. I don't like reminders that this was once an animal.
Yeah.
So anytime I see a bone, I'm like, ah.
Yeah, I get that. I don't mind, but
that's why I prefer my chicken in nugget form.
Oh, I do love a chicken nugget. Nuggies. I've had chicken. Oh wait, I had chicken tenders last night, which is adult chicken nuggies.
Is it adult chicken nuggies?
Because they're adult chicken nuggies. Because we made them in an air fryer.
Because they look like little penises.
No, they just look like chicken.
Nubs.
None of them look like penises.
Oh.
It's very sad. But I'm going to go with brie because I think that's a romantic cheese.
And we love brie on this show.
Brie.
We are a
Brie's
brie
my
fan
favorite.
club.
Can't confirm.
I miss you, Brie. I can't wait to have you back on the show soon. We miss you. I guess the only choice I can do is a good old cheese lover spatzel because, lover spat.
A lover spatzel. Oh, God.
I like this episode. I liked it a lot better than the last one. I know you were kind of much like, it's a little better. I thought this was much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's not as much fighting or mean-spirited stuff in it.
Yeah. I think the fighting was less in this one, which helped.
But when it's there, it's goofy. Like, she gets drunk and then offers herself up. It's great.
Or, like, when the fireman's just like, this is the gentleman's punch because it has alcohol in it. And she's like, thank you for the warning. Chugs it right in front of him. Which is what I would do, frankly. Someone's like, you're a lady. You can't drink. Like, yeah, I can.
You're not allowed to drink the spirits. It'll make your mind go funny.
You can't be thinking. You're a woman.
Next thing you'll be like having opinions on things.
Opinions? I can't have
voting.
opinions.
Who's gonna let her vote? Or being a doctor?
A doctor? I'm nowhere near that.
Or a video editor?
Oh, I can't. Women can't do that. They're too emotional. Well, actually, in old Hollywood, women did all the video editing because it was too much work for the men.
Yeah, even in Nazi Germany, a woman did all the editing.
Yeah, because it was too much work for those men to cut film up. And all the men are like, now that it's easy, can we do it? And the women are like, okay.
I guess
I'll just not edit your thing. It's fine.
I don't know. In my experience, every female editor I've ever had is the best editor I've ever had.
Yeah.
And every male editor kind of sucks.
Yeah,
Sorry,
because they put their own
male
ego into
editors.
it, from what I can see.
Well, no, it's just that they don't let moments sit. They just kind of, and I'm you've seen my editing skills. I tend to be a partial of this. I just need to get to the end, and it becomes kind of logistical as opposed to emotional.
Yeah.
Which sounds sexist now that I've said it out loud, but it is what I tend to find, where men just cut like, all right, the line's over, cut to the next cut, and all right, we're gonna have a little overlap there, but all right, the film's done. Instead of like, what does this mean? What does this cut mean? Why is this cutting here?
Oh no, I see what you're saying. I do love to linger on a moment.
I love lingering. I'm too afraid to do it in my films because, I'm like, oh, we got time. We got 10 minutes to kill.
We're on time crunch.
Time crunch.
We're on a crunch. We have time. We have meatloaf crunch to eat.
All right, Liz, thank you so much for hanging out with me and talking Schmigadoon episode 2. Are you excited for episode 3 and recording it next week in our next session?
I am. I'm excited.
Hell yeah. I am too. I love hanging out with you. You're a great joy to chat with. So, guys, what do you think? We're reaching the end-ish. We're like almost halfway through the Schmigadoon. What should we do after that?
Ooh,
what do you want us to do? Once upon a time, we joked about it last week, but that's just so many seasons, and I that's a big commitment. So maybe like Smash, something that was like 2 seasons.
Yeah, I watched Smash when it aired, actually.
Was it good? I have never seen an episode.
No, it wasn't. It was like Glee, but on Broadway.
Oh, so at least it's a little better.
Yeah.
Broadway.
Yeah,
Christian
if
Borle
you like
on
Christian Borle
Broadway.
being underutilized.
What about Jeremy Jordan?
He's in season 2.
Doesn't he literally just play Jonathan Larson?
He's just playing Jonathan Larson. But he has a friend that's
him.
also Jonathan Larson. So there's 2 Jonathan Larsons, and it's terrible.
We got too many Jonathan Larsons.
How many Jonathan Larsons can you fit in a single show?
Only on NBC. Too many Jonathan Larsons.
4 Jonathan Larsons live together in an attic.
Nope, don't make that joke.
I'm kidding.
Who will live to the end of the series? Find out. It's none of them.
Oh god, that'd be a terrible show.
The premise is which one's gonna die. Spoilers, all of them.
Oh god.
For an undiagnosed aortic aneurysm because of doctor incompetence.
Yeah, thanks, doctor. You're great. Could have saved those Jonathan Larsons.
You could have made Rent watchable, but instead y'all wanted to kill a man.
And now we have to preserve Rent the way it is, which is an abomination.
Garbage.
At least we have Tick Tick Boom, I think. I have never heard it or seen it, so...
It is better than Rent.
That's what I've heard. I've never looked into it. I'll probably just watch the movie and
I think
move on.
The movie's taking it in a very different direction from the stage show, because the stage show is kind of like a stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
The original version was just Jonathan Larson at a piano like, everything sucks! I'm Bo Burnham, but in the 80s!
80s Bo Burnham.
Which was the original show. And then the one that eventually hit off Broadway was taking those songs and turning it into a story about Jonathan Larson. And now what looks like Lin-Manuel Miranda is doing is turning it into a biopic and using those songs some places.
Oh, I do know Lin loves Rent, so I think.
It looks like they're going to go all the way up to the production of Rent. At least that's the vibe I'm getting from Lin-Manuel Miranda's trailer, which they did not do in the stage show because he wrote Tick 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 Boom well before Rent was even a glimmer in his eye.
Yeah. So I guess let's
It's
add
interesting.
that.
So that's why I think that movie's going to be interesting, and Lin-Manuel Miranda is smart enough to know, like, hey, that won't translate, but this other version of it with some of the same songs will. So I'm going to do that.
Yeah, might as well.
Because you know what? I'm sick of people being so goddamn precious about Jonathan Larson's work. He wasn't even that precious about his own work. Do you know the song Your Eyes that ends Rent?
Yeah.
Like, where Roger's like... Jonathan Larson hated that song. It was forced in by Michael Greif, who's like, we need a song at the end. He's like, it's gonna suck. He's like, I don't care if it sucks. We need a song there. So he just shat that out, and he's like, I'll change it later. And then the show went on.
So the best part is
he
that song's
died.
supposed to be like Roger's greatest achievement in songwriting.
And
It's like, it's the song I worked so hard on
we
the
said
whole
goodbyes.
show to make Mimi love me or something. And it's like a hot piece of hot garbage that my
It is the
college
worst
friend
song.
wrote on the quad.
Worst song on the planet. I mean, let's also admit that Mark's film at the end is literally a Windows Movie Maker project of him and his
that's
friends
not
fucking
art,
around.
man. It's not shooting without a script. That's editing a shitpost montage for Tumblr of your friends.
That's making a musicals with cheese video. You know, Garb.
Yeah, totally.
I'm
Totally.
sorry.
I shoot without a script because there is no script.
There is no script. It's just an Andrew talking nonsense. Just nonsense.
And then I cut it out.
He cut out all the nonsense, and what do you got? A few meatloaf memes.
Wait, the sad part of the video is I missed some juicy meatloaf memes, I'm pretty sure. So
I'm sure you did. There's too many. Meatloaf has been around for thousands of years.
he really has, though. I wish I used more of that Tenacious D music video I alluded to like twice. Or that Yeti movie. I was running out of footage from it.
To Catch a Yeti is an insane watch. Cannot recommend it more.
Yeah.
On that note, I think that's all for the Schmigadoon breakdown. Liz, do you want to send them on off?
We'll see you next week for episode 3 of Schmigadoon.
Schmigadoon.
Schmigadoon.